You got to be shitting me. We have just had a 30-minute conversation, and I didn't hit it.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, listen, hey, that's what happens at 3-minute basement. What do you want? What do you want? It's going on. So what's up, everybody? It's your boy Otto coming to you live and direct from the Grotto. Today, we have a special guest. We have Ink Jedi joining us, and we're going to rehash exactly what we just talked about for 20 minutes. So I'm sorry about that, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
As always, the 3-minute basement are sponsored by Rocket Comics. Rocket Comics is your one-stop shop for all things signature series and CGC books, okay? And they are open. CGC is open, so get your books out to them, get them pressed. Make sure you do that. Also, we want to give a shout out to Geeky Swag Shop. Geeky Swag Shop is fantastic. They donated some stuff for our 1,250 subscriber giveaway, and just look for that. I dropped that video today. I actually added the outtakes to it too. So just so you guys know, Rocket Comics is starting their own official certificate of authenticity for signature services. All right. Each COA is unique. They're numbered. They're in our database. They're in their database. The cost is $10 per COA. They can be witnessed. They're witnessed by Rocket Comic agents. It has a hologram sticker. They're custom designed. They're just not, printed in black. They're great for anything. You can put it on Funko Pops, hardcover books, posters that you want to have graded. Just very, very cool stuff. And today we have, like I said, Juan from the Comic Book Fiend Club. So we're going to talk about, like we already did, Saturday morning cartoons and what some of our favorites were and what happened. So, it's tough when you're running a show by yourself, but it is what it is. So, Juan, I'm going to pull up this picture, and you talk to me about some of your favorite cartoons in this one for,
Sure.
Saturday mornings and afternoons. So I'm going to pull this up.
Oh, man. So you got Ghostbusters for sure.
Yeah.
DuckTales was excellent.
Oh, DuckTales, absolutely.
Thundercats for sure.
Yeah.
Transformers, Voltron.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too is freaking classic.
Classic.
So that
He-Man,
G.I. Joe, of course, can't go wrong with that.
Yep. Really, really cool stuff. Voltron. And I don't know the big bot in the back. Is that from, that can't be from Transformers. Is that more of like a Gundam one? Or
I think it's Gundam.
It could be Gundam, right. Robotech, maybe? Robotech.
Robotech, okay.
Yeah, Robotech, I think. So, those were all cartoons that I watched, as I was getting older. But I am a few years older. So these were kind of some of the shows that I watched. And as cheesy as they were really fun to watch. We got Johnny Quest, Speed Racer, Super Friends, Underdog. We've got the Flintstones. And I think this was, that's Muttley, I think, from something. I forgot exactly which one it was. But that was really cool. So those were kind of cartoons that we really enjoyed. Now, a cartoon that I missed a lot of was Silverhawks. All right. Silverhawks was a group of, I don't know if they were humans or Terrans or whatever, but they would fly through space and they had these really, really cool types of hawk uniforms. And like the guy with the hat was like a guitar player. And it was just really, really cool stuff. And that was a cartoon that I enjoyed. But before Juan tells us about one of his favorite cartoons, I want to give some people a shout out. And thank you very much for sticking with me. Oh, Dick Dastardly. That's right. We've got Count Von Strange, Discovery Bay, Amazing Murfinator, T-Bo's hanging out with us, Mr. Wobbles, Matt Forge, Discovery Bay's here, Thunderhouse Design, just a lot of good people hanging out. And thanks for Justin for saving the day as always. Star Blazers, Wacky Racers. Yes, Wacky Racers. That was good. So Juan, there was a cartoon that you had mentioned that I actually forgot about, but it was one of your favorites. Which one was that?
The Bionic Six. Bionic Six, hands down, was probably one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. And I wish they would have kept it going, but unfortunately they did not. But Bionic Six had an awesome intro too, if I remember. I mean, such a great cartoon. Now, as kids,
we loved the intro because it was like a rehash of everything, right? Mm-hmm. It was just lots of fun to see. And, we were talking while we thought we were live about the Transformers intro when, and that's something we talk about all the time on 3-Minute Basement, when for the Transformers movie with Unicron. Mm-hmm. And when Megatron flew onto the ship and just started blasting Autobots.
Yep.
And you've got the song, you've got the power, just great stuff right here. So Juan, the first thing I really ever collected when I was a kid was Star Wars figures. And I remember going and actively telling my mom, hey, I want to go get this guy. I want to get this. I want to get that. Now, you had told me, which was the first thing that you actually collected, which I was pretty, it took me back because that's not very superhero-ish, right?
Right.
So what was it?
I was collecting like Ghostbusters figures. I had the original Proton Pack as a kid. I had the Ghost Trap as a kid. I had the PKE. Like, I just
Yep.
loved Ghostbusters as a kid, and when I was younger, I used to be really afraid of ghosts. Right, like
Right.
that's what my grandma would say. Oh, if you behave bad, the cuckoo's gonna get you. So
Oh,
like,
really? You're just throwing that out,
yeah,
right?
it's terrible. So
Yeah.
I would put on my Proton Pack, and I
Yeah.
had
Oh, you
the
so
soundtrack,
physically
everything.
had the Proton Pack as a kid?
Yeah. It was this little
Really?
proton pack you put on your bag, and then you had it here. And it came with like this yellowish tube, which
Yeah.
was supposed to be the energy, the proton pack energy blast or whatever. So I had that as a kid, and then you grow out of it, and then everybody thinks it's okay to donate to wherever. Like, oh, just take these to donations. We'll donate it to the church or whatever, and
Right.
then they're worth a lot of money now. So go figure.
Exactly. And it's funny now because, as a collector, I'm sure we collect a lot of different things. And I've actually, about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, I started collecting vinyl. And I'm not buying it I'm actually buying it for the songs, because I think what we do now is with iTunes and everything like that, we cherry pick our songs. And I kind of that's not what I'm into it. I'm all about the songs that are in between that you forgot about when you would play it on a cassette or stuff like that. So I got a nice turntable, but I'm slowly learning that you've got to go old school with receivers. So now I'm looking at the old dial receivers, which your mother or grandmother probably had, and you've thrown out a bunch of them. So I've been looking at that. So now we talked about what your collecting style is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You collect Bronze and Silver Age books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not reading anything modern right now?
Oh no, I definitely do read modern, and if I
Okay.
do, it's more digital. Like I'll just I'll buy it off the app or whatever, just so
Yep.
I can take it to work with me and stuff.
Right.
I do read a lot. I do also get omnibuses a lot.
Oh, you
So
do? Okay.
I do a lot of my reading in bulk. I
Yep.
kind of enjoy it that way, and then I'll pick up like the one or two titles. Like right now, I'm reading Fantastic Four and X-Men,
Nice.
which I'm enjoying a lot. But it depends. Like I said, I don't. My pull list has drastically declined
Right.
in recent. So I'm doing more digging in back issues and things like that.
Yeah.
I find that as a collector, I enjoy that a lot more than just
Right.
trying to keep up with everything new that's coming out.
I know the new stuff was hard, and I've got some new stuff that I'm going to want to talk about. But as we go through this, Juan, who is DC Marvel? Anywhere in between for you?
No,
A
I
little bit of
have
both.
no a little bit of both. A little
Yep.
bit of both.
All right.
I don't particularly say, oh, Marvel's better than DC or DC's better than Marvel. I think they both have their positives and negatives. So I just read what I enjoy.
Right.
Whether
Right.
it's a particular storyline or character, I'll just go that way.
Yep. Top two favorite villains from both, because I'm a villain guy.
Me too. So Doctor Doom was number one.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then for DC, I would say Sinestro is number two.
Look at that. We're on the same page. And then I got to throw Black Adam in there too.
Yeah, Black Adam is awesome.
Yeah. And I was just listening to some guys talk about, Black Adam and how The Rock is going to will this movie, to happen and stuff like that. But you know what? I do kind of want to keep it to a little bit of cartoons, and two cartoons that I actually there's three that I'm absolutely loving right now. And one is the Clone Wars. And I know you're a Star Wars guy. Have you been watching the Clone Wars?
Yeah. So I never, believe it or not, I thankfully Disney Plus is awesome. So I started watching them right from the beginning, and just catching up because those are some really good stories. Like the animation is good, but like the stories is what's really sticking.
Yep.
Like they're great.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. And, I'm really enjoying what I really like about the Clone Wars. I definitely enjoy Rex. I think Rex is a cool character. I like Asajj Ventress. I think she's really cool. One of my favorite episodes of the Clone Wars was with the Night Witches when they went to her home planet, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about her powers and her abilities. I'm really digging all the lightsaber stuff. I think is cool. I have to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of Ahsoka. And as a 3 Men in a Basement member and as a Lords of the Long Box member, my boys love Ahsoka as a character. So I'm trying to get into her, and I'm hoping that there's some room to grow. And so of Star Wars, let's say, who's your favorite Jedi?
Man, that's such a good question.
That's a good one, right?
I'm always stuck in between like Obi-Wan
Yep.
or Qui-Gon Jinn. I really
Okay.
like those
Oh,
two guys,
yeah. All right.
very much so.
Yeah.
Canonically, I would say like those two guys are probably my number one.
Yeah. When I was a kid, so I grew up to Star Wars: A New Hope, and when I first saw Obi-Wan and he brought Luke back, and he did the Jedi mind trick, and there's a YouTube video where somebody actually extended or made a fan favorite or like a fan fiction of the lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And instead of going on for 2.5 minutes, it went on for like 7,
Right.
And to me, that was awesome. But as I watched the movies, one of my favorite lightsaber battles is between Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan, right?
Yes.
And I think that got such a bad rap at the time because of the whole Jar Jar thing and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, you watch that battle right now, man, that holds up to par.
Oh,
So
it's great. I think
yeah,
that's probably one of the best choreographed fights in Star Wars. Period. I mean, it's lengthy, it's good, it's
yep,
suspenseful.
right.
You don't know which way it's gonna go, and then spoiler alert, when they get Qui Gon, it's just like, oh,
Yeah, right,
he was
right.
so cool.
Yep, absolutely. And it was funny because at the time when they hacked Maul in half, of course, I didn't suspect that they would bring him back and things like that. So I thought that was really cool. Another cartoon that I've been watching, which I can't get enough of, is Harlequin on the DC streaming.
Oh yeah,
It's unbelievable.
it's so good.
It's so good that it's just beyond good because, well, first of all, when Poison Ivy breaks the fourth wall and starts saying like, I can't believe I'm watching this, or are you watching this, and Violent too, with the Joker and how she just wants to get into the Legion of Doom, and they go to a party and it's all the Legion of Doom members are there, but it's really the Penguin's son's like bat mitzvah.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's so fun.
Good.
And the one-liners. So have you watched that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been watching it with the wife.
Yep.
I really enjoy that they keep Kite Man in that continuity.
Yes.
I really
Right. Like Kite
I think
great.
it's just perfect.
Right.
I love it.
Kite Man is fantastic. And we were just talking about get a little cheap plug. Last Friday night we're on Very Gary's channel, and he was talking about the first appearance of Kite Man in a Batman book or Detective Comics. And I've never even seen that book. I just would love to have that book because he's a quirky character, and shows like this make you enjoy those characters. For example, there was a show. It was Batman. It was The Batman, I think. No, not The Batman, but it was
Batman Brave and the Bold.
Batman Brave and the Bold. Loved it. Absolutely.
Oh, one of my favorites. I
Right.
watched it, and then you just see so many obscure characters, and they
Yes.
use them, and they use them well to tell the stories that they tell. I think when he was like, "Would you hit a woman?" He goes, "The fist of justice are unisex," and just had me
right.
Holy
Or
God,
when
such a good
he's
show.
fighting Gentleman Ghost and he's like nth metal knuckles, just the way they did Aquaman and Guy Gardner. Didn't he knock out Guy Gardner in that too?
Yeah.
Right.
Aquaman was probably oh my gosh, he was so good in that. He was such good comic relief where he's trying to take vacation with his family, but he's over here like, I need to beat somebody up and
Right.
Saving people. It's just great. It
was absolutely
such
unbelievable.
a good show.
Yeah, so I've been on Instagram for a few years now. You got back on you got into Instagram around 11-14, right? Like that was like your 2014. Yeah. So I think that's when I kind of got on. So my oldest was 6. Yeah. So we were watching Batman Brave and the Bold together, and there was a great episode of Jonah Hex, right?
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved that. And then like my first Instagram purchase was from Bobby Swolverine, and it's the first appearance of Jonah Hex at an 8.5, which isn't a book that everybody goes after. I think it's underrated, but I bought that book because that was a show that I watched with my son, and he absolutely loved it, So I'm like, you know what? I enjoyed Jonah Hex in this. I thought it was really cool. The other one with the crime syndicate, do you remember that? That was a great one.
Yeah, that was a good one. They had some really good ones where like Batman got split into 3 different characteristics of his personality, and they had to get them back together. I mean, it was just really good to see. They had some future episodes too where Batman and Catwoman had gotten married.
Yeah.
It's a really underrated, and I just watched it once I got the DC app, so it's not something I even watched back in the day. And I'm watching, I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I told my wife, I'm like, I can't stop watching the show. It's
Right.
so funny. It's
No, no.
so
So I
good.
was watching that, and then when they ended it, you know, I don't want to give you a spoiler alert, but it does end, and they actually, God, I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy who plays the Batman actually breaks the fourth wall and says, you know, it's time to go. That's it. We run our course,
Yep.
and I'm like, oh my God, it's over. You know,
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, that's it. I was
that's
like,
it.
okay,
That's it. You
I see
know,
it.
right. So I know the second season of Poison Ivy is out, so I'm definitely going to catch that. And I just watched on DC streaming, which I thought was really good, was The Red Sun. And I thought that was a lot of fun too, because it was a different take on Superman, and the way they were able to bring in other characters the way they did, I thought was creative. And Justin made a great point, you know, because to be honest with you, Ink Jedi, I hang out with people smarter than me, so it makes my life a lot easier. You know, that's why I got you on, you know, because your comic knowledge is way above mine. So when they talked about it, wasn't just like in real time. It was like, this happens in 10 years, this happens in another 20 years, and you see the evolution of different characters and speeds up. And it's there's a great version of Brainiac, and I know if Very Gary's watching, he's going to chime in right now with, you know, make the trade or something. So, you know, that's going
to trade you.
Well, here's the deal. So I have a I had a Batman 121 first appearance of Mr. Freeze at a 3.5. Okay, that I actually won, was one of my first big raffle wins from Gem Mint, like almost 4 years ago. And I found myself like into books that you don't see a lot. And I just always thought Mr. Freeze was a great character, not because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, more so because of the Batman 66. Mr. Freeze, I thought was really cool. And in Gotham, they did a good version of him. And then I sent it to Rocket, and it was in it wasn't an old label, but it was an old CGC case.
Gotcha.
And Rocket was able to take that and press it up to a 4.5.
Wow.
Okay. Right. So if you do the numbers, that's like an $800 bump, right? So I actually had the guys from Slab Stand make me my own slab stands for it. So I absolutely covet it. But as you guys know, I'm a Legion of Doom fan. And myself and Shortbox Bernie have been slowly oh, he look at it. Hey, make the trade. He knew what. Look at that. You couldn't have planned this anymore. You couldn't have planned that anymore. So as a Legion of Doom fan, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Shortbox Bernie, my buddy Pat Howe, was like, listen, I'm trying to get all the Legion of Doom characters. And I'm like, oh, that's effing brilliant. I just lost Juan for a second, but I was like, oh my God, that is absolutely fantastic. So then we were talking, and then Gary wins it, or he gets the Brainiac, because that's a book that I was after. And then he ends up winning it, and I'm like, my God. And then there we go.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. And then he ends up winning it from Torpedo, and then all of a sudden Justin just popped up and popped out. Like, now he's just messing with me.
He's gonna tell you to make the trade.
Yeah, really, exactly. Well, hell, Juan, we would have done this whole thing by ourselves if it wasn't for him. So, you know. But anyway, so they're both about the same grade. I think he's got me by like $100 or $200. But I'm actually gonna pass. I'm officially saying on his show, I'm gonna pass on that trade. But now what's going to happen is Brainiac will be announced in like some kind of movie, and it'll go up $500, right? And so, you know, we are a comic book channel, but Juan, have you ever like gone after a book, passed on it, and then something has happened where it's gone up and like you just missed the boat on it and you're like, I'm screwed now?
Man, I do have, well, not that I passed on it. So at one point I owned a Fantastic Four #5.
Ooh.
3.5 signed by Stanley.
Oh my gosh.
And I had stopped collecting for a while, so I got rid of a lot of my collection.
Yeah.
So that's the one book that when I think about it, hurts me so much that I did.
Yep.
As far as like passing a book, I want to say, I think the only book I ever like really passed on was a 196 Avengers. I passed on it, and it was like a 9A white pages. And it was a really good price, and I should have pulled the trigger, but I didn't. And now it's like, forget about it. At that grade, at that price, it was just like, no, I should have done it, but I did.
I know, man. There's been so many times. Like I talked one time on the last show about how I missed out on a Hulk 181, and then I was I had it. I was so mad that I missed out. I actually threw my phone because I was on eBay and I had like
Oh no.
90 seconds. And I don't know about you, Juan, but when I get caught up in a fever, like I'm just like bang, bang, bang. I'm like, oh my God, I had to get rid of it. So I literally took my phone and threw it across the yard, you know?
Oh,
So
shoot.
just because I was overpaying for it, you know?
Right.
So that was one of the things I wanted to do. So I do have a list of some things that I wanted to talk about
Sure.
as far as like movies and stuff like that. So I'm going to be honest, and I'll let you think about this. When it comes to movies and like right now, because of the situation that we're in the pandemic, and it will get better, everybody. I'm an absolute optimist. It's going to get better. I've been binge watching a lot of things. So I put a list together. But, you know, in the live chat, I love you guys to tell me what's like a guilty pleasure movie that is horrible or you have no business liking, but you absolutely love it in the whole, like, you know, science fiction, superhero, whatever. And I'm going to come out and tell you guys, my guilty pleasure is Waterworld. Okay. You can heckle me as much as you want, but Waterworld is absolutely my guilty. I can watch that movie for days on end, whether it's because of Dennis Hopper or as a villain or just what they do. But Waterworld is something that is absolutely one of my guilty pleasures for movies. All right. Juan, did I give you enough time to think of one?
Yeah, man. Howard the Duck.
Really?
Yeah. I
Nice.
loved that movie as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I dig it.
Oh man, yeah, that's probably one. Fifth Element's a good one too.
Fifth Element is a good one. Corbin Dallas. Yeah. Ready Player One. I like Ready Player One though. You know, I think Ready Player One was a phenomenal book and a decent take on the movie for what they could do. Solar Babies. Oh Jesus, here we go. Masters of the Universe. Oh, with Dolph Lundgren. Oh my God.
It's so bad it's good. I love it.
Oh, it's so bad it's good, right? It's like a train wreck. It's like the Tiger King right now. My God. Which I don't want to talk about because everybody else is talking about that. Con Air, right? All right, Con Air. Great film. You know. So, and then there's other movies that you could like watch for days. You know, one of the movies that I could watch for days isn't really necessary. It has nothing to do with superheroes or whatever. But one of the movies that I could watch for days is Andy Dufresne. My God, Shawshank Redemption. Okay. So Street Fighter. Look at that. It's Tron Legacy. Oh, we're getting some good movies in here right now. So, yeah, Shawshank is something that I could watch all day and I would thoroughly enjoy it, you know? So, just something I could. What about you, Juan? What's a movie that you could watch all day?
Godfather 2.
Oh, there you go.
I love The Godfather. 1 and 2 and 3 I don't care too much for, but 1 and 2 were like, I love it. Anytime it's on. My wife always busts my chops because anytime they show like Goodfellas, I watch it.
Goodfellas you could watch all day. Oh my God, forget it. I could watch Goodfellas all day. Star Wars. Look at this. Night of Ren. Thank you very much for popping in. Says Star Wars was just Revenge of the Sith. I like Revenge of the Sith, to be honest with you. You know, the Guyver. Who else do we have right here? Can You Dig It? Goodfellas. Oh, Debbie Does Dallas. Yeah, right. There was one called Debbie Does Dishes. You know, Warriors. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a phenomenal movie, though. Like, let's get that straight. You know, The Warriors is an absolute classic, man. I absolutely grew up to that movie. Roadhouse. Those are great movies.
Roadhouse is awesome, man.
Roadhouse is great. You know, Patrick Swayze was great in that. So like we have 3. Oh, Copland. Oh, Copland's good too. You know, Copland is good. Yeah, these are all great movies. Over the Top. Oh man, you guys are really bringing up some great stuff. So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. But before we do, Death Wish 3. Oh my God. You know what I just watched because TiVo was all about it was the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And
how was that?
Oh, it's on Amazon. It's phenomenal. I mean, there's a couple low parts, but even the low parts were funny. But there's so many throwbacks and comic book references. For example, oh my God, Ben Affleck's boy, Matt Damon, is sitting there in church and he goes, "You know who I am?" He goes, "I was Loki before Tom Hiddleston was. I was the original Loki, you know, but nobody cares about me." Or, you know, they talk about how they moved the secret stash to a mall and they're talking about the difference between a reboot and actually bring up Point Break when, you know, how Point Break is an absolute classic. Right. And then they bring up the new one, which was just disgusting to it. So that was terrible. So, but, you know, I do really want to talk because, you know, I know you're a huge member of the Comic Book Fiend Club, right?
Yep.
And how long have you been a member with them, Juan?
3 years, even though it feels more like 10 sometimes.
Right.
With you.
Yeah.
3 years I joined and it's been great.
Just a lot of good dudes and like a lot of comic book stuff. And
Yeah, man, we have some really good people,
yep,
knowledgeable people, and it's crazy. Like uh, when we chat, it's not always like just comics. It's about like how we're doing, especially
yep,
now with everything going on. Just making sure we're checking in on one another's like just mental health. It's so important, and then just try to see what we can do to help. As far as like we do campaigns to donate books to the military.
yep,
We raise money for children's hospitals. We deliver books to children's hospitals,
right,
things like that. So that way we could just give back to our communities, and we don't ever. It's weird because we don't ever do like live auctions or things like that to raise money.
right,
We just ask people to like donate books, and then we'll sell them. In the last 2 weeks, we were supposed to do our first convention. We were gonna set up a table and
right.
get and sell some books for charity, like just dollar books or whatever.
Yeah, right, right,
That's the
right.
kind of things we want to do. We kind of want to make a good impact in our communities, wherever we're from.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. And I know, it was first and foremost, it was pretty funny because when I first met you, we were in Baltimore, and I think you were waiting in line for Adam Hughes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I walk and I see your guys' patches, and I saw your wife, and I saw you, and then I saw Bataholic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
We were
walking by, and I'm like, oh, dude, I know those guys. And then like I kind of walked around and I'm like, I got to go say what's up. So, we chatted up for a while and we talked and stuff like that. So I do actually have a picture right here. So your significant other, your wife is a member too, right?
Yeah, she joined a year, half ago, 2 years
Okay,
ago.
there you go. Now I pulled this off your Instagram page, right?
Yeah.
Now who's looking at the book here? You or her?
That's Jen.
Okay.
That's my wife for sure.
That's okay for sure. Now let's talk about this picture. Bring us back to this picture because are you at a big show, small show? Where are you at?
This is Baltimore.
Oh, right on.
Baltimore
Okay.
Comic Con, and Jen loves monsters. So I think we were looking for a Legion of Monsters book.
Okay.
And we might have ended up getting it not from this guy. Someone else had it for a really good price. So it's great because she kind of has what she's into, and then I kind of have what I'm into.
Okay.
So it definitely it's definitely fun to go comic book shopping with her.
Nice.
I met her at New York Comic Con.
Right. I remember you saying that. Absolutely.
I proposed to her the following year at New York Comic Con.
Really?
And then we got married a year later. And then the day after our wedding, we went to New York Comic Con to meet Mark Hamill.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, it was fun.
I actually saw that. I saw that picture on your Instagram when I was going back. So I did have another picture. Let me see. Where is it? Right here. Of like, maybe I didn't upload it. If I didn't upload it, it's okay. Like the first book that you ever posted, and I just saw it. Do you remember the first book you ever posted on Instagram?
I don't. I would have to go back to look.
Oh, I do though. I do. Which is very funny because you've got like, I think you're up to like, our Instagram number is about the same, which is great. But when I was looking at it, you had like 1,800 posts. So like 20 minutes before this, I'm scrolling through. I'm like, God damn, my phone's not loading. It's just taking forever to get going and stuff like that. So you actually, it was Iron Fist. I think it was like a 5.5.
Yep.
Yeah, that was your first post. So that was pretty cool.
Actually, the first book my wife ever bought me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
so that is your wife, because I was gonna say you reference her as your girlfriend, right?
Yeah, at the time she was
and dude, I did not want to say, hey, your girlfriend bought this for you, and have your wife watching the rewind being like, oh yeah, who was that?
Who's that? Yeah, no, that was her. Okay. She surprised me for it on my birthday.
Yeah.
And I was shocked because again at the time she was just starting into collecting and stuff like that. Much like, a lot of people, like when they get into it, they're more into the more popular people like, Deadpool and Harley Quinns and things like that, right? Like mainstream comic book movie people, but now she's kind of more into like the things that she likes, you know what I mean? And it shows in how she collects, which is great.
Yeah. That's awesome. Guys, I want to give a shout out to everybody. We got still Thunder House is on with us. We got Jada Butcher. But guys, we only got 5 likes. And for having 35, 40 people in here right now, we got to smash them likes because we're really trying to do the right thing here. So as far as getting these likes and hitting that YouTube algorithm that everybody talks about, man, so there's one thing that I do want to talk about is movies that you wish could be made. Okay. And I have a movie that I'm going to talk about, and I'll give it like 3 or 4 minutes, Juan, and you can chime in and say what you wanted to do. But a movie, oh, I got 23 likes. All right, good.
Justin.
This guy's break. You know what's going to happen? You know, I'm going to hang up with you, Juan, and I'm going to get like a 15-point thing of you didn't start on time. Okay, I got that. I got it. You didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. All right, I got it. It's okay, though. We'll survive. But listen to this. This is a movie that I think they absolutely could do, and I think it would be a home run. X-Force, Sex and Violence, you know, or the Rick Remender X-Force, because let's face it, you've got Domino, you got Cable, you brought X-23 in, you got Wolverine. You know, this would have been something that would have been great. It would have been R-rated. You know, you can create, you know, a huge universe around these people. Like the girl who played Domino, first of all, she was incredibly hot. Second of all, she killed it as Domino, right? Like I thought she stole the show. And, you know, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. We know that. He's definitely not Green Lantern, but, you know, he's definitely a good Deadpool. And, our boy Josh Brolin was a great Cable, and I thought it was just a great movie. And this is a movie that I think the bigs at Disney and everybody else kind of missed out on. And if they ever, this has such good potential because this was a great read, and it's a Del Otto artwork, and you know Otto loves Del Otto, so you can check that out. And that's a good read. And then there's the Rick Remender version, which is fantastic. And so, you know, I'm going to see who's in the comments about something that they wish. Domino, she is. Remember, the X-Force was top 3 for me, right? Who wrote Sex and Violence? Remender was an X-Force all-timer. This one, you know, I'd have to go get it. I don't know exactly. I was looking at it today. I don't know who wrote it, but that would be good. So, guys, in the comments, tell me who you would like to see a movie of, and we can find that out. So we got Gina Torino in there. Thank you very much. We got Erod hanging out. Matt Forge is still there. So House of M, good. I believe that. Now, Juan, if we could, you know, if Otto from the Grotto could use his powers of dark magic and, you know, make us a movie, what would it be for you? What would it be like? Would it be a trilogy? Would it be like, because X-Force to me could be a great trilogy, you know, kind of where they kick ass, they get stuck, and then they make the comeback. It would be a great trilogy. Like I think the Silver Surfer saga should be. But what would it be for you? And I know I'm putting you on the spot with this.
Man, so one of my favorite reads was Messiah Complex.
Yes, X-Men. Right.
I love that story. Yep. I would love to see that on there because it kind of brings everybody in. You got the X-Men, you have X-Force, you know, the Marauders.
The Marauders, right?
I think that'll be it for me. Like I would love to see a movie version of Messiah Complex, or if not, the close second would be Secret Invasion. Would be
Secret Invasion. So I want to tell you before. So I was collecting. So before I got back into buying the back issues, I was actively buying books. You know what I mean, to read because I did enjoy it. Like so, what really got me back into buying was the new Star Wars books because they did a couple stories where. Like Vader was in Jabba's palace, and I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely epic. You know, I thought that was great. And so I was buying that, and Messiah Complex I was getting, and that was something that was coming out every week. And I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is really good. Right.
Right.
And, you know, I just thought that was really cool. Very Gary says Sinestro Wars. Oh Sinestro yeah, man.
Wars, yeah. Blackest Night would be freaking incredible. Like, I agree.
Oh, that would be fantastic. You know, and actually one of the books that I was buying, I think I saw you guys at Barry Gary saw Chicago's. Yeah, so I mean, I was at Baltimore this year. You know, you can't miss the Comic Book Fiend Club because they've always got this logo on the back of their jackets, you know. So, you know, 3 Men in the Basement, we might have had a t-shirt on or something like that. So, but yeah, awesome. Let's see what else. eBay's hot. Yeah, eBay is hot right now. So we can talk about that in a second. Man Cave Chronicles says only read Vader titles. All right. So yeah, I would love to see X-Force, Messiah Complex. You know, I actually thought that the Crisis on Infinite Earths was really good. I thought that was fun to watch, you know, and there's some things that are good, you know, and some things that are bad, but we, as you know, consumers, we have the right to do that. So I do want to talk about comic books because we are a comic book related channel. And I got a stack of books right here. And I'm going to tell you what I thought was good and what was crap. Because there is, and I'll tell you what I thought was really good. I thought The Rise of Kylo Ren, really good. Lots of fun. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. And you can't find them anywhere because Justin bought them all. So this is a second print. And I've got like 1, 3, and 4. I've got 1, 2, and 4. So I need 3. And I'm going to end up paying out from Justin to get that one. I was big on this in the beginning, but it was absolutely crap now. This Excalibur. This was so bad. Oh, Court of Owls. Yes, Man from Beaton. I'm going to put that up here. Court of Owls would be great.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good one, buddy. You get a 10 for that, man. But this Excalibur was just absolute crap. I'm done with this. Oh, actually, we're done with everything because there is no more new comic book day right now. Just crap. Hickman laid a goose egg with this Nightcrawler one. Let me tell you this. This is a thicker book. How much was this? This was $5, right?
Ooh.
$5 for this. And they told the whole story. Well, actually, that's a pretty cool splash page. I won't lie. So maybe that's worth the $5. And I'm sorry I opened up that because the Alondra was good in it, but it was this. But they summed up this entire book in 2 panels. Like right here is all you had to read this. Crap, lousy. I'm not even going to bag and board it. Milton, the Manimal, I want to give a shout out to him. About this book. This was really good. Hellions, number 1. Okay. So Sinister, who I'm a fan of, and I can't wait, makes Psylocke take all these just offshoot characters and turns them into like this team, and which is like it's all plausible deniability. We're like, yeah, have them go do this, have them go do this, and if they get caught, oh well, forget it. We don't care about them, And Havoc goes and does something stupid in it. So Hellions is really good. And there's only 1 issue out, so you can go get that. Wolverine number 2, I really enjoyed. I thought this was a lot of fun. So that was a good read. And then my favorite, which I'm really upset about, is actually I've got a few here. I'm going to keep going. Is Cable number 1. I thought this was absolutely fantastic, and I'm a huge fan of Phil Noto. I think his style of art is really, really cool. Yeah. And this takes Cable back to when he was young, and it brings a new aspect to it. So I enjoyed that. So if you can get that, definitely. And I thought this was a lot of fun done by the good friend of the 3 Men in the Basement, Tom King, The Strange Adventures. This was a lot of fun too, right? Yeah. This was good. I thought Tom killed it on this. And, I heard some good stuff, but there also is some crap in there. But maybe that's why I should get some stuff digital, but I'm just trying to get out there and get it. So Juan, what's something that you thought was good and bad?
I agree with you. Strange Adventures was great.
Yep.
I was looking forward to that book for a while. I spoke to Tom King at Baltimore, and I told him how much Jack Kirby to me is the best ever. Right. I love him. So I collect a lot of his work, and I did read his Mr. Miracle run, and I really enjoyed that. And then this one did not disappoint. But I had to agree with you too that Nightcrawler I did not enjoy it.
No, it was terrible, right?
I did, and I really like Hickman.
Yes,
I just didn't enjoy that.
I like Hickman because it makes you think, and I don't mind because I grew up to Claremont, and Claremont is very, very wordy, but it's okay. I don't mind. Marv Wolfman is very, very wordy too, but it's okay. I want the words. I want to get into these characters and stuff, but that Nightcrawler was just lousy, right?
Yeah, it was not good.
No, not good. Like I'll tell you what, if you can't get me toilet paper in 6 months, I'm using that. So, but we do have a question. I want to go back. I think we had a question from Sal Brodsky. Thank you very much for following up with us and being on our show. It says, do you guys think Baltimore will still go on with the COVID-19 getting more and more dire? I think if we as Americans do our civil duty and do our social distancing and do what we're supposed to do, I think, and this is all my own opinion, you guys, please take it for what it is. I don't really want to brush on this too much. I think we'll be out of the woods by the end of May. All right. I think we need to stick with this, stick with what we're doing, let the hospitals take care of it, and just keep the curve low and doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm very optimistic that Terrificon will happen, and I'm very optimistic that Baltimore will happen. And I'm hoping that they don't pull the plug that quick. So yes, I will be at Baltimore, and yes, I will be at Terrificon. Juan, is Baltimore on your whatchamacallit?
Yeah, it's on. It's definitely on the list. We do it. That's our East Coast meetup every year.
It is
So
okay.
that's where we'll have the most
Yep.
members going to.
Okay.
I just love Baltimore. I used to go to New York every year. It's just gotten too expensive and just too many people for me.
Yeah.
You know, there are some definitely there's some great people at New York, but I find Baltimore to be more of a comic collector's Comic Con
Correct.
than
Right.
anything else.
Yep.
Not
And
a lot
that's
of
just,
celebrities, but more artists and vendors and things like that.
yeah,
For
no,
sure.
I agree with you 100%. And that's why Terrificon is good. So I'd like to personally invite you and your wife up to Terrificon. And if there's any
Absolutely.
way that I can help, with the hotel rooms or anything like that, I'll let you know and stuff like that because
For sure. I'd
Terrificon
love
is a
to
lot
go.
of fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of
Absolutely.
fun, especially bring the wife up and make a good time out of it. So, yeah, Terrificon and Baltimore are both on my lists. I had a great time, and I want to give a shout out to Discovery Bay and all the guys from the Comic Corps for letting us use their table and doing 2 live shows. And that was just a lot of fun. It was actually the first time I met Dave in the mother effing cave, as I like to say. So that was something, and we're really looking forward to that. Now, before we were talking about, what did we talk about before the Terrificon one? I'm sorry, I just got a little bit off task. It's okay. I'll start over.
No, it's okay.
No, listen. What is your of all the Marvel movies and all the DC movies, cover trilogies, right?
Mhm.
So let me ask you this: of the Christopher Nolan Batman, right? Which one is your favorite of those?
I believe the first one I really
The
enjoyed
first
a
one
lot.
with Roz,
Yep. I
with
really,
Roz and
really enjoyed
Scarecrow.
that one.
Yeah,
Not to say
those.
two was good, right? Heath Ledger's performance was great. His
Yes,
performance alone made that movie amazing. But I think the
yeah,
first one I just really enjoyed it. It was different. I enjoyed the action scenes in it a little
yep.
more.
Okay,
That's why I kind of enjoyed that one the most.
yeah. Now it's funny because the Heath Ledger Batman is on. I can watch that all the time. My son is a huge Joker fan, and he watches that scene. And I would say probably top 5 best scenes I ever can imagine seeing in a superhero movie or something like this is when he walks into the the gangsters and he goes, "How about a magic trick?" I'm sorry. He
That's
goes,
it.
"How about a magic trick?" And that guy comes over and he goes, "Ta-da!"
Yeah, it's
And the
so
pencil
good.
shoved in his eye, and they say, that's a cheap suit, and he goes, "It's not cheap. You guys bought it." But I will say though that I like the third one. I liked the version. I like Tom Hardy as Bane. And I liked how they got Talia into that. I might get some feedback in the live chat about that, but I really did like that because listen, hey, he had it right. He was a man of the future. He shut down the city. He wore a mask, right? So now of those 3 movies, right, where would you compare them? Now this is gonna be a tough question. I'll talk about it first to the Thor movies. Okay.
Oh boy. I have
So
my opinions on Thor.
okay, we want to hear it. I want to hear it because
For
we're there.
sure.
So I enjoyed the first one. I thought seeing Loki was fantastic. I thought seeing Odin was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Dark Worlds could have been a lot better, but I thought Ragnarok was good. So if I were to compare, so I think that the Thor trilogy to me was a little bit better than the Batman trilogy. Now I might get some thumbs down for that, but because I thought 1 and 3 were so good, and I really just think that the Nolan one was great, but it just kind of didn't stand up. So what do you think about the Thor movies?
Oh man. So I did not like Thor 1. I
You
was
did
not a
not.
fan.
Okay.
No,
Yep.
no. Thor 2 to me was a little bit better, but
Okay.
Thor 3 is when it finally was like, okay,
You
this
got
is
it.
the movie I really enjoy. It
Yeah.
was
All right.
fun, it was emotional, it was really, really good. I don't know why. I can't tell you why I don't like Thor. I want to say I just didn't buy it yet
Okay.
with with that dude as Thor.
Okay.
But by like just watching some of the Avengers and some of the other stuff that came out before like 2 and 3, I
Yep.
really enjoyed the third movie. I really enjoyed the second movie. But I think Thor is one character that as these films progressed, he had one of the best character developments in the MCU.
Yes. Right. Oh, no, I agree with you. And I think if they put him in Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to be fantastic. You
I
know,
agree.
um, And then if you take those two trilogies and put those up to the Iron Man trilogies, I have to say, although Iron Man 1 to me was groundbreaking, 3 was absolutely horrible. I hate to say it. I wish they would have just kept. The Mandarin should have been the Mandarin, not some cheap imposter. And I did like 2, but I think Mickey Rourke did a great job. But those 3 movies, I think, for a trilogy wise, would be number 3 on this. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so I definitely think so too. And then Captain America, oh boy, Captain America is a whole different beast, because I think they just did.
I think when you talk about Captain America, you have to go with like Winter Soldier being one of the best MCU movies ever.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
It was written at like an espionage spy kind of movie, and then the action took like second place to that, right? Like you had all the action scenes, or the mystery and who's who and whatever, and then you had, the fight scenes which were choreographed amazing. I mean, that to me is probably hands down my favorite MCU movie. Period.
Nah, nice. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is we're gonna take a little commercial break, and I am gonna let you guys in the live chat talk about what you think your best trilogy was, and I'll come back and acknowledge that. But we're going to take a little 60-second break real quick. All right, there you go. So we took a little break. We got a little refresher. We hit up the water cooler. We're back, and let's see what we've got for comments. Who liked what? I think we're talking about some shows. Captain America trilogy is my favorite. All right, Night of Ren. Thank you very much. Yeah, I can definitely see that. We're talking about Baltimore. Baltimore is definitely worth it. Winter Soldier is the best. Thank you, Lenny, for being that. So, somebody brought up C2E2. So this is funny. It's not funny because of where we are in the situation, but when C2E2 happens, we also had our 3 Men in the Basement comic swap down in Jersey.
Yep.
And theoretically, if you didn't go to C2E2, you wanted to be here. And if you weren't at C2E2, the second best place to be Rosie's Bar and Grill in New Jersey with the 3 Men in the Basement. And there's a cast of characters in this picture that I wanted to share with everybody. We've got Comic Book Fiend Club, Geeky Swag Shop. We got some NY Warriors, Comics and Cultures. We've got lots and lots of cool people that showed up. And Juan, when you came, I made a purchase with you right off the bat.
Yeah.
I actually bought some Funko Pops. Now our swaps, this is our third one. Can you tell somebody who is not like a new listener or a new viewer what you were expecting, what you got out of it, and would this be something that you would come to again?
So when I first got there, I wasn't sure what to expect, so I really didn't have any expectations.
Right.
But when I got there, it was great to meet so many new people.
Yeah.
I never really spoken to the guys at the New York Warriors. That's my first time meeting them, which was really cool. They're really, really good dudes. And then it was great because first of all, it was at a bar, so we would have some drinks. We would eat some food,
absolutely.
And everybody, it was like one big hangout, and there just happens to be comics there. I mean, it was such a great time. People were moving some books and things like that. But you also got a chance to catch up and talk to people you might not have known and make different connections with people.
Right.
I think it's good overall to bring the community together. So I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to the next one for sure. Like I said, it was really fun. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, and this one was Justin all putting this one together and finding the spot and doing everything. And for those of you guys who didn't make it, please go back and watch some of our videos because we did go live. We did do an after show. But not only do we sit around and talk comics, but we have Roger running. We do some giveaways. We have some raffle stuff. I mean, we gave away a first Punchline. We gave away a lot of stuff, and it's just a lot of fun because these people by their handles on Instagram or on YouTube, but to see them in person and really talk. And let me tell you something though, this is not a place where you want to go and pass on a book, because I literally walked around, passed on 2 books, and Roger grabbed one and Justin grabbed the other one. So I was like beside myself, because let's face it, we are all season collectors. You wouldn't be there if you weren't a season collector. So if you come to the next swap, which we want to have probably in late August or September, we like to do it after Terrificon, before New York. The next one will be up here in Connecticut, so just put that in your calendar. Late August or early September, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to get another spot, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and it's a great way for everybody to get together. Very Gary showed up, his buddy AA Comics, I believe, if I'm saying that right. So, and it was just a really, really good time. So, Juan, I appreciate you guys, bringing the wife and especially believing in us and coming down. So that was a lot of fun to do. For sure, that was fun. And then, so we also did some other stuff. Now, have you been buying anything? Okay, here's one more thing. We've got a few more minutes to go. I want to keep it to us under an hour. Other than comics, what else we collecting, buddy? Because we just don't collect comics.
Man, so I would say like I'm pretty. I try to get out. I do collect like pop vinyl, pop Funko, stuff like that. Not as much as I used to, just what I like. And that's the key here. Like, collect what the heck you like, because if you just start getting everything, then you'll get a little lost. But aside from that, my collection is like, I collect a lot of toy figures. Like,
you do?
Toy Biz figures and things like that. So, especially like the bigger sets. So like I have a Blackbird, I have the Weapon X Lab, I have a Sentinel, I have the old Tower of Doom, the Secret Wars toy line.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love to collect those. The problem is it's like space. So
yeah, of course, right?
It's always space.
Yeah.
And then sideshow statues, I do enjoy collecting those as well.
Right. So I only have 2 sideshows. I have the Hulk 181, and because that's a grail of my collection, and I have the Wolverine with his claws coming out. So I do have those. I just want to give a shout out to Geeky Swag Shop. Gave me a Doctor Strange Kobayaka. How do you say that? Kobayaka?
I don't know. My wife.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to actually do a statue review within the next week or so about this, and I'm going to do it from beginning to scratch. I'm going to talk about that. You know what it is, Juan? I've become an accessory guy when it comes to my comics, right? I become, as you can see, a slab stand guy. I've been buying, and you were very gracious enough. You got me a great Dr. Doom Funko Pop that I'm going to put up there. I just reached out, put it on Instagram, and you were the one who answered the call. So, now I'm not only am I with my comic books, am I accessorizing them with Funko Pops, slab stands, the whole thing. Like, it's becoming too much, but man, it is fun.
It is, man. I find being home is more dangerous than hitting the shop. I'll be honest with you, man.
Right.
Like, I'm on eBay every night for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
But I stick to something. So like I collect Avengers. Like I love Avengers, so I collect just Avengers, and I try not to look at anything else for the time being.
Right, absolutely. Something I was looking at last night. So I'm a huge Mysterio fan. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal absolutely killed it as Mysterio. He did a great job, and I wish as a villain, check out the Mezco 12 figures small and cheap. Yes, I do like some of the Mezco figures. I do have the Terminator in Mezco. I just want to throw that up from Thunderhouse Design. Yeah, I do. And I have the other ones by GameStop, the smaller, they're like $50 ones. The Gallery, right?
Gallery, yeah.
Yes, I've been buying those, and I've got the Gallery Mysterio. I've got 2 Phoenixes, but the XM Sideshow Mysterio is absolutely gorgeous.
Ooh.
And I was looking at one last night. The guy wants like $300 alone just to ship it, So
yeah,
that's
the shipping
not
gets
something.
You, man.
Yeah, definitely gonna get you. So I got to stay away from that. I got, if I could say, in a year or so, could I save up for that? But I've definitely been buying my accessories. I like, I forgot that Bat Metal Doug on Instagram from California. He sells a lot of his figures loose. And because of the battle action figures, and I don't mind them loose because I like to display the stuff. Like I'm a big kid, man. I like to ogle over the stuff. I like to use it and stuff like that. So one of the things that I collect outside of comics is I collect Legos, and I had to keep this together. I only collect the Batman Batcave sets. So gotcha. In the grotto, I have a dry bar, which if I ever do another room tour, but I've got to clean it, I'll show you. I have 4 or 5 different Batcaves, and my favorite is the Batman 66 Batcave Lego set. and it's really really cool. And I've got like the Joker Funhouse. I've got the Batman Batcave from the movie. The one set that I don't have, which is eluding me, is the Arkham Asylum one. And every time I go to buy it, I pass. I say I don't need this. Where am I going to put it? So one of the things that I like to collect also is in there. So let me see. CK3 Comics DSK says, is anybody else into foreign comics? Not me. I don't know what else, but if you guys want to mention in the comments what else you guys like to collect, I'd love to hear about that and just things like that. And I've also been buying posters, and I'm finding myself buying collect the Mandalorian Lego sets, right? So Knight of Ren, that's very good. I just want to focus on this because here you have honed down what you're talking about. Enamel pins. Look at that. You think you know somebody, and next thing you know, he collects pins. I didn't even know that. My God. And he's part of my crew. I grabbed 9 pence versions. Okay. I think that's really neat. I know Tim is into the the Canadian variant books. I know that guys like to go after the books that have the Mark Jewelers inserts. That's something that I don't really. If I get it, I get it. If it happens to be there, cool. I understand. I like the Hughes German variant. Yeah, man. So Spanish variants. Look at Nemesis Prime. Look, you think you know somebody. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. So yeah, man. So this was a great show, man. We've been kicking it for almost an hour and 15 minutes because we had a whole 50-minute conversation when we thought we were live. So before I wrap up, Juan, where are you on Instagram? You got your own YouTube channel. Do me a favor.
Man,
talk to us real quick about when the next drunken, what am I saying? Drunken Nerdcast. Yeah. And who's involved in that? And let's talk about that a little bit before we sign off.
The drunk cast was something when we started doing YouTube, I was like, we got to get together and shoot the shit when we get drunk, because it's a lot of fun, but it's also very dangerous.
Yes, correct.
So one time we had a guy buy a $1,200 statue on the show.
Oh my God. Good Lord.
Things like that go on. So I try to do them every 3 months so we could just recover from them.
Yep.
So usually if I want to say, April, May, June, July, maybe around July or August, we'll do our next one. Maybe we'll do a holiday, drunk cast and stuff like that. And again, we'll just love to have everyone on. If you want to come on, have a couple of drinks and hang out, it's where we just get together, have a few drinks with the guys, and just kick it pretty much.
All right.
On our YouTube channel.
Yep. And now you have your own YouTube channel, right?
I do. So we have the Comic Book Fiend Club YouTube channel. Well, that's mostly just comic stuff, and that's open to anyone in the club. That they could post whatever they want. So usually we're doing statue unboxings, or haul pickups, or mystery box unboxing, reviews, anything like that. Right now I'm working on a Fantastic Four when did that come out? 2015 retrospective. That terrible Fantastic Four film that came out with.
Oh God, awful! Yeah, right.
So that video will be going behind the scenes to show what actually happened, what was the original movie supposed to be about, and things like that. That's taking a little longer than expected, but there's so much information out there. And then I have my own personal channel. It's called Talks with Jay. That is my venting channel. It's nothing political or anything like that, but I just talk about life and talk to people about their lives and things they might have gone through or seen, or life experiences they want to share with people. It's more like I love podcasts. So whenever I'm at work or going to work, I throw one on. I love Joe Rogan Experience. So I kind of want to model it after that, where I just speak to people from different backgrounds and different experiences, and kind of want to learn something or learn about them, and just share that with everyone. So that's what I do on that channel. And then I'm on Instagram, ink_Jedi. The E is a 3, so just in case.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm not that smart. I'm glad you said that, because it took me 2 years. It took me 6 months to realize that Nemesis Prime was Nemesis Prime, and we talked about that the other day. So yeah. So okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. And we're on Facebook again, Comic Book Fiend Club. And I'm on Twitter as well, Comic Book Fiend Club. So we're usually everywhere. Just we're always posting something. So
Yeah.
feel free to check it out and message us. Like I said, I know someone mentioned back here, they don't know if they could, come up to people. Yeah, go right ahead, man. That's why we wear it. We usually go to cons. We have stickers, pins, whatever. We're all about the community. Just because we're a part of a club doesn't mean we're trying to segregate ourselves from this community. It's an awesome community, and we're really proud to just be a part of it.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to come saying hello, whatever, because
Right.
we're
I mean,
very friendly.
I met a bunch of your guys. I met your president, Bataholic. I got this, or Mike just changed his name. I know that he did us a huge solid. Stampede, over on the West Coast, you got Didi Garmo, all you guys from the West Coast. And I hope to go out someday and hang out with Didi Garmo. Him and I have become pretty good, even though we've never actually spoken or something like that. He's a solid dude. It's just a great idea, and, just a club, man. And I love that idea. And, the same thing goes for 3 Men in the Basement. If you see somebody in a 3 Men in the Basement shirt, just, shout out to us, let's talk about it. You know what? And even what we want to do, even in this video, please comment what you guys would like to have us talk about next, because Justin and I do this, and Roger and David and Cave, and we talk about ideas that we want to bring to you guys. We definitely don't want to keep it boring. That's the last thing we want to do, because there's enough stuff on YouTube that you put on, you're like, why am I listening to this? And, we hope that, our information to you guys is knowledgeable. I believe what you say about Joe Rogan. I think he's a good podcaster. I listen to a guy named John Campea because of TiVo. And I enjoy listening to John Campea. He knows just enough about comics, but he knows tons about movies and stuff that I really enjoy. So I'm definitely guilty of watching other people's shows. And, we're just trying to grow the channel. So what's coming up on 3 Men in the Basement is tonight at 11 o'clock, or whenever I'm finishing editing it, will be our 1,250 subscriber giveaway. I think right now we're just under 1,200. We've got 5 things to give away, and you can see that in a video. One of them is a giant Michael Jordan Funko Pop donated by the Geeky Swag Shop, and 4 other books from Rocket Comics with their COAs, which are absolutely beautiful. And we're going to give those away. And hopefully, if we can get 50 subs, I think, by next Friday, which is our next show at 9 o'clock, Very Gary will be on it. And we've got some stuff. We don't have CGC deliveries, but we've got mail calls that I've been hoarding, and I want to open up with you guys in the community, because I think that's a lot of fun. I know what the books are. I've seen them on Instagram or eBay or whatever, but I actually don't know what they are per se, as far as what they physically look like, and that's what I'm excited for. So also, some other people you guys want to be following for great content is Ryan Comic Guy. I also think you guys should be following Vancouver Comic Junkie. He's just started his channel, and he's got some really, really great stuff. And of course, you've got to follow Lords of the Long Box every Tuesday and Wednesday night, just dropping content. We've got another spec list coming up. Justin, Nemesis Prime, has been dropping videos. David the Cave has his own channel where he's dropping videos. And, follow us all on Instagram. And comment on the stuff, and just in the comments below, comment what you guys would like to hear us talk about. I'm going to keep this going. So if anybody wants to be a guest and anybody's set up to go live, please DM me on Instagram, Everett_Otto. I'd love to have some new guests on because right now Sundays suck. And, there's no sports. As the weather gets warmer, I know this is going to tail down, but I named this, Sunday Comic Talk episode 2. We'll see if we go 6 issues. So, I want to thank Juan for coming on and talking about his personal experiences, and I give a shout out to everybody. So catch us on the Rewinds. We will be on next Friday. So on behalf of 3 Men in the Basement, I am Everett Otto, and I am out. Peace.
Peace.